It's 4 p.m. on Tuesday, November 29th, 2024. Is that right? 26. Sorry, 26. And moved them into the second section of this new row. The grass is ever so thick. They didn't seem at all displeased with what they had. And it looks like there's quite a bit more grass here than there was in the previous row. So no escapes. Even Patches is staying where she's supposed to stay. Maybe she's figured out that if she leaves, if she jumps the wire, she can't get the water. I don't know. But right now it's about 70 degrees. Last night it got down to 31, just below freezing. I should say this morning, before the sun came up. So a little bit chilly. I think in about a week it's going to get well below freezing. We might get a little frost, if not some freezing. So yeah. Little poop factories is what these things are. Oh, there was a video 3 years ago where a gentleman was decrying the inhumanity of regenerational agriculture, what he thought was regenerational agriculture. And he thought that people that were keeping the cows in one spot, collecting the manure and spreading it out in the pasture, and then turning the cows on it for 6 months at a time, or something like that, was regenerational ag. And that, I don't think anything could be further from the truth. The basic principles of regenerational agriculture are much more deeper than just, spreading manure and leaving the animals in a spot. Rotational grazing is just one aspect of that, and that's what I'm doing here. Is I rotate them constantly onto fresh pasture that hasn't been touched for a long time. And the principle of the whole action is that the soil is important. Soil health is important. And if the soil is healthy, it'll provide plenty of grass for the animals. The way to create soil health is to get animals on pasture and to get them off, right? Give that ground a chance to rest. Depends on the season, depends on a number of factors, but anywhere from 4 weeks of rest to 3 months. So 1 to 3 months. Could be longer too. Some people they set aside part of their pasture to rest for a whole year. As the ground rests, the natural processes are allowed to continue and to multiply, and the roots go down, the shoots go up, and we're converting sunlight and carbon dioxide and water into life, right? That's the whole point, is creating life. And inside the soil, that life takes the form of mycorrhizal fungi and all kinds of various bacteria and tiny insects that are hard to see, and bigger insects and everything else in between, right? And the grass that grows is a byproduct of that healthy soil. I believe almost every pasture has what's called a seed bank. What that means is that there are seeds down there in the soil that haven't been active for a long time, maybe even 100 years or more, right? I don't know. And by turning life back into the soil, those seeds are allowed to grow. And so that's why a lot of times what happens is you get the native grasses coming back when you do rotational grazing. Furthermore, the process isn't complete when the plant grows. There has to be a loop back to return the leaf back to the soil. And the way that works is with ruminants, especially cows and sheep. Those animals, what they do to the soil when they eat the grass is nothing short of miraculous. If you take the animals off the pasture, the grass will grow and die. But if you leave them on the pasture, the grass will multiply and multiply and multiply. The 5 mouths of the cow, the 4 hoofs and the 1 mouth, and then of course we have the manure that comes out. I'm going to show you something about manure here, right? So they were spreading manure in a dead pasture where nothing was growing. It's just dirt, right? That's not natural. That's not what happens in nature. That's not what the ground is designed to accept and receive. But when you have manure patties and urine mixed into the bunch, over time the bugs and the animals and the insects and all kinds of things work on that manure, and they tend to bring it downstairs. They tend to move it downstairs. The nitrogen increase from the manure isn't enough to actually cause any problems, but it is enough to kind of make it grow a little faster, right? But the important thing too is that the cows, when they chew, they don't chew hard enough to destroy the seeds. So their seeds are starting off in that high nitrogen manure patty, and when the time is right, they'll sprout. Now the sheep and the goats are a little different because they actually grind up the seeds, which can be good if you want to get rid of weeds and stuff like that. But the cows, they create a little package for those seeds to grow. So anyway, that's what I'm doing here. I got a little head start when I bought this property. The fellow that ran it before me, he was doing something similar to what I'm doing. But I think I've improved upon what I've gotten. My goal is to one day have 4-foot tall grass in the middle of summer. I think that's certainly possible, even with just the Bermuda grass. But I think one day I'll reach that point. No herbicides, pesticides, no insecticides, and I don't have to use any drugs. I don't use vaccines, and the only thing I really use is mineral supplements, and in the winter time I have to use protein supplements, just because there's not a lot of protein here in the grass. So I use a little bit of protein supplement, and what that typically is it's mostly cottonseed meal. So they take cottonseed, which is a byproduct of the cotton growing process, and they grind it up and they put some salts and some other things in there to make it palatable for the cows in healthy form, and then I provide that to the cows, and that helps keep them healthy throughout the winter. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.